All right, so here's the deal. Sunday night's football game, Green Bay Packers, Tennessee Titans, was supposed to be a good game matchup of one of the better teams in the AFC, one of the better teams in the NFC. Turned into an absolute bludgeoning by the Green Bay Packers. They won 40-14. And it was very apparent right from the start how the game was going to go, because you could see it on the first couple Titans possessions. They just weren't comfortable in the elements. So for those of you that didn't watch the game or don't know, it snowed, and it was snowing the whole game, but it snowed pretty well the hours leading up to the game, and the field was pretty covered, so footing was going to be an issue. And you could see it for the Titans. They weren't slipping. They weren't slipping on the turf or anything like that, or on the grass. It was just they didn't trust their cuts. Like, you could see that they weren't used to it, like Derrick Henry. So me and probably every other Green Bay Packers fan, don't mind this sun, it's pretty brutal. But me and pretty much every other Green Bay Packers fan has probably been down on our rush defense. And our rush defense, we semi-contain Derrick Henry. And it's like, you watch Derrick Henry, he'll get the ball, he'll make one cut, and like, once he gets going, he gets going. Like yesterday, he just couldn't make that one cut and like get to full speed. And I think that helped our defense. Very, very much so. And then Ryan Tannehill, I mean, he's been fantastic this year. Coming into this game, he had 31 touchdowns, 5 picks. He threw 2 yesterday. Our secondary, Green Bay's secondary, very, very good. Love the safeties. Adrian Amos made a couple big tackles. He ain't afraid to tackle Derrick Henry. He wasn't. Kevin King, cornerback, he wasn't afraid to go at Derrick Henry. Jaire Alexander's an absolute stud. One of the best in the business, cornerback-wise. And Darnell Savage was a great draft pick last year. He was fantastic. This year, so Packers got up. They scored on their first drive. They scored on their first 3 drives, I think. And then that's where the Packers want to be. They want to be up 2 scores. They want to be up a couple scores, because then it's, all right, we're coming at you. We're going to rush the passer, and we're going to play good coverage. And that's what happened. Rashawn Gary was all over the place, making tackles, helping the run, making tackles in the run, making big plays, making Ryan Tannehill uncomfortable when he was rushing the passer. So he's fantastic. He was a great draft pick this year. Last year, not so much. Had some flashes, but this year he's really helped that defense, especially with Preston Smith down. Him getting more comfortable and getting more reps has actually helped Preston Smith, which is great. Zadarius Smith is still great. Kenny Clark was doing his job, clogging up the middle on a couple occasions. But offensively, Davante Adams, another big game. He scored 3 touchdowns. He has 17 on the year. Only played in 13 games. So we need to talk about Davante Adams. And if you're a Packers fan watching this, you already know. But we need to talk about Davante Adams. And this isn't just because I'm a Packers fan. I've been saying this probably because I'm a Packers fan for the last couple of years. He is one of, I've never called him the best receiver in the NFL. He's one of the best. And now I'm getting pretty close to saying he is the best receiver, because there's nothing this guy can't do. He probably runs the best routes. He's definitely in the conversation of best route runner. No doubt. He could go inside. He could work the slot. He could go outside. There's really nothing as a receiver. The only thing that you can kind of count against him is he's not a big-time burner, but he only needs a little bit of separation, because he's got one of the best guys to ever do it slinging it, and Aaron Rodgers dropped some dimes in there to him. But, I mean, I'm getting pretty close to saying that he might be the best receiver in the NFL. And Aaron Rodgers, let's just give him the MVP. He's got 44 touchdowns. 45 is his career high, so he's probably going to break that, because they go into a game against the Bears where, whatever it is, he just loves Chicago. He lights it up in Chicago, and I don't expect any different. The Chicago Bears are hot. Chicago Bears are hot. And their rushing game is really starting to come along. David Montgomery is really looking good recently, so that scares me a little bit. And it's for the 1 seed. They need this. Like, this game proved why the Packers need that 1 seed, because as holy as their rush defense has been, the great equalizer are those elements. The great equalizer are the elements of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And if they get this 1 seed, I'm I will very much say that they have a really good chance to make it to the Super Bowl. Because, I mean, what's going to happen? Are the Tampa Bay Bucks going to come in there and run all over it? They don't run anyway. Are the Saints with their newfound run game going to come in there? Nah, not in the snow. They're used to playing indoors. The Bears, maybe. Again, the Bears scare me. They're an outdoor team. They know what it's about. But there's not really a team that would scare me coming into Lambeau to potentially knock them out. So if you're a Packers fan like me, you should be elated. And if you're a Titans fan, having a great season, but now that loss, there's a scenario where you potentially miss out on the playoffs, and that's not great. And it's going to be tough for an AFC team. It's going to be tough because there's going to be a 10, potentially 11-win team that doesn't make the playoffs. Meanwhile, in the NFC, there's going to be a team at best case scenario with 7-9 making the playoffs, and there could potentially be another team, depending on how the Bears and the Cardinals do next week, that makes it at 8-8. There could be another 8-8 wild card team. So if you're a fan of one of these AFC teams that's going to miss the playoffs, feel bad for you. Maybe this is the season where we look at it and say, okay, maybe something needs to change. Maybe we need to change this structure so this doesn't happen. So we have one conference where a 10-11 win team misses, and we have another conference where a 7-9, 6-10 team, and potentially another like 8-8 team make it. But great day to be a Packers fan. Titans, keep your head up. You'll be all right. Derrick Henry, still a beast. Ryan Tannehill, still having a hell of a year. And hey, it's on to Chicago. On to Chicago to clinch up that 1 seed. Mitch is hot. Montgomery's hot. Packers are hotter. Maybe you, I lost a subscriber today too, so maybe you want to go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it, especially if you're a Packers fan. Help a brother out. And I'll see you in the next one.